Hello. Today I'd like to give you a tour of my A5 Filofax. It is a Cuban model, and it is fine Italian leather. It's very, very soft and supple. It has the Filofax logo on the spine along with the contrasting stitching. The stitching really sets the Cuban apart. I really like this. This is my one and only Filofax. And as you can see, it's pretty full. I keep a lot of information in my Filofax. I use it all the time. So this is my go-to for everything. So let's open it up, shall we? And on the inside of the Cuban, you have 6 card slots. The only thing that I carry in the card slots is my library card for the public library and my library card for the community college. I also have some Martha Stewart tabs. This is the Cuban actually has 2 leather pin loops. There is no elasticized material, solid leather. This one is most generous. It easily accommodates a Lamy Safari fountain pen. Goes in and out very easily. But on this side, I don't know if you can see this very well, but this pin loop here, I don't know that you could get anything in there. I don't even know if a very small mechanical pencil would get in there, so this is useless. This is the Filofax magnifying glass. I rely on that a lot. Behind the card slots is a secretary pocket, and I normally keep outgoing mail in that. Then we have a zippered compartment, and this compartment I keep postage stamps. And I think I have some spare Martha Stewart post-it notes in here as well. Then behind the zippered compartment, there is another compartment. And in this compartment, I keep 4x6 index cards. I really like to write on index cards. Then on the inside, we have the Martha Stewart post-it notes and tabs from Staples. I really like the shape and the colors that these come in. Then we have my flyleaf. And below the flyleaf, we have my registration page with my registration number. Oh, and this is just something that I've cut out of the Sunday paper. I need to check the new books that we have at the library against Amazon.com to see if it's something I'd be interested in. Behind the flyleaf, we have my personal information. And then I have a clear pocket top loading, and I have pictures of my lovely wife and a card that she recently sent to me. This is a sticker from the Goulet Pen Company, their ink drop program. So I just put that here. Then I have some business card holders. Here are actual business cards, and I have merchant cards, Subway, Tumbleweeds, a Cinema, Panera Bread, Staples, and Barnes & Noble. Love Barnes & Noble. Now, I've actually ordered scrapbook paper from Amazon.com, and I made my own dividers using the Martha Stewart tabs to divide the sections of my Filofax. First is Notes In. This is a section that I got from, or an idea that I got from Steve. Notes in has blank paper. It has some to-do lists. Anything that I need to capture for my Filofax first goes in Notes in, and then I decide on what section to put it in later. Next section is personal, and it has information in it such as I'm a fan of fountain pens and ink, so as I get a new ink, I'll ink up my pen, and then I write down a sample of the writing so I can go back and use this as a reference for the color and how it writes and so forth. And I can see, well, you know, I like this, this not so much. So it just helps me to know what inks I like and dislike. My mother made my wife and I a tamale pie the other night. It was delicious, so I wrote down the recipe. This is information for my droid and so forth. The next section is my journal. This is where I do any free writing, creative writing. My next section is to do. And I don't actually buy to-do sheets. I just find that it's just as nice to have a plain sheet of paper and just number your lists. My next section is notes, which is pretty self-explanatory. My next section is spiritual, and this is where I keep prayer lists, sermon notes, Bible study notes, and so forth. Then I have the largest section in my Filofax, which is books. I'm an avid reader. I teach English, so I'm very close to books. And in this section I have I record all the books that I've read beginning in 2004, going through 2012, and I put a Martha Stewart tab at the top, so it's very easy for me once I complete a book to turn to this section and then record it at the bottom. So as you can see, so far this year I've read 11 books. I also keep a list of authors that I like, such as George R.R. Martin, and names of books that he's written. I find this effective if I'm in the public library looking for a book, or if I'm at a bookstore. These are books that I would be interested in purchasing or borrowing to read. My next section is a section for my blog. I do blog at Joseph D. Quinton QUINTON.typepad.com. And in this section I just keep ideas for my blog. I have this is a publication schedule. I have something called a Saturday Spotlight, where I spotlight a different YouTuber, or excuse me, a booktuber that I like. On the first of every month I post the books that I'll be reading that month. This is August and September's schedule. Here's some video and editing products, etc. The next section is wellness. And in the wellness section, I keep track of my blood glucose levels. I keep track of my medications and the dosages. Then I have a Day Zero project. The Day Zero project was introduced to me by LJ of the Filofaxy community. In the Day Zero project, you make a list of 101 things that you would like to do in 1001 days. And as I get them completed, I jot down the date that they were completed. This is a very, very nice program, and I highly recommend it to anyone. You can just Google Day Zero Project, or you can look on LJ's blog or my blog to get more information. My next section is financial, and in the financial section I keep a list of ministries that my wife and I support with our tithe. I have the expense sheets, so as you can see in August 2012, I keep track of who I've paid and whether it was by check or debit card or credit card. And then following the monthly sheets, I have a pocket envelope that is put out by Martha Stewart, which you can also get at Staples. And in this envelope, I put my receipts. And at the end of the month, I give this envelope with all of my receipts to my wife, and then I put in a fresh one for the upcoming month. So that's just a good way for me to keep track of what I spend, so that my wife can, do our home bookkeeping. The next section is my planner. And I'm not really happy with anything that I'm using at the moment, so I will be changing. I just need to decide what I'm going to order and from whom. But right now I'm using the Month on 2 Pages put out by Martha Stewart, which is part of her Staples collection. And the reason I do like the Martha Stewart Month on 2 Pages is it is very, very thick paper. Very nice paper, so a lot better than the Filofax paper. And then for the planner, I'm using the week on 2 pages in a vertical format. Not really happy with this. I think I'm going to switch to a 1 day per page, which will allow me to put in my appointments, my to-do list, and notes, and etc. on 1 page. I think that would best suit my needs. My next section is my contacts, and then I'm using the standard Filofax tabs for my addresses. And then my final section is I love gaming on my computer, and then this is just a section that I use to keep product keys, passwords, and so forth. And I made this divider by cutting out the cover of a comic book. Now, after all of my sections, I like to keep a piece of cardboard in the back, which sort of just, I think, keeps the paper smooth. And in the back of the Cuban, it has a pocket, a mesh pocket, and you can easily slide in a notebook. Now, I prefer the Triumph notebooks by Clairefontaine. They comes with 90-gram paper, very nice paper. Fountain pen just loves this paper. It's just gummed at the top, and you can write on it and just tear the page out and punch your holes and then place it into your Filofax. So this is my A5 Cuban Filofax. His name is Tennyson. I named him after one of my most favorite English poets, Alfred Lord Tennyson. So thank you for spending a little time with me and getting to know Tennyson a little better. Thank you.